Welcome back to Adri's Farmhouse Kitchen. Today we are going to make tomato soup and cheese and onion toasty. So the ingredients are, we've harvested some cherry tomatoes, some all other different varieties of tomatoes from the polytunnel there. I've got there some tomatillo, so I'm going to roast. There's a bit of olive oil and salt and pepper and a bit of a chili flakes. Also, we're gonna use onion, so I've got some freeze-dried shallots, or we're gonna use. What actually I'm gonna do, as I'm talking about the ingredients, I'm using turkey stock, about a pint, and I'm going to pour this over the shallots. That gives us time to rehydrate. Also, what I'm just gonna put a bit of olive oil in that tomatoes, what I washed and cut, bit of salt and pepper. And that can go, bit of chili flakes, not too much. Oops. And that can now go in a roasting oven for about 45 minutes. That just brings the flavors out in the tomatoes. That'll be amazing. So that's that. I'm also going to peel some carrot. Well, actually, I'll do that first because that can go with the tomatoes just in a sec. And I've just popped to the tunnel and I've harvested some fresh basil and some oregano, also some peppers. I've got sweet chocolate in here and I'm not sure what this one is, but we can actually also roast these as well. And I'm just going to grab my compost bin so we can compost the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to use some, instead of fresh garlic, today I'm going to use some garlic powder. I'm also going to use some honey. I'm also going to use some of these sausages I took out from the freezer. Because today we're also going to make venison curry. So I just took out some venison meat from the freezer, but we go through those ingredients in a minute. You will see how easy put together this tomato soup. Literally, I'm just peeling and dicing the vegetables, and I'm going to roast them all. So I'm just thinking to just grab another baking dish. I can just put these few peppers and carrots with the tomatoes what we've just put in there. So I'll just take this out and put this on the top. That will be just fine. Put them on the top like that. Give it a good stir and put it right back. Perfect. Just like that. That can roast all together. Because these colours are looking amazing already. Okay, so I'm gonna use a bit of a honey as like an extra touch of like sweetness. These basil leaves are not the prettiest I've ever seen, but they will do the job. So we're going to leave a few when we're going to serve the dish, and we're going to put some. I'm just taking the leaves of this oregano and just give them a little chop. I'm also using some, as I mentioned, garlic powder, and I've got a little bit garlic paste to use up. So I might just gonna use those up as well. So I'm just going to put this aside. I foraged for some mushrooms, so we're gonna fry that up as a garnish on the top as well. You can also put that on a toasty or on top of the soup. And I have got some tomato powder powder with salt in here, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of water in there, give it a mix to rehydrate, and we can put this to the soup. That will just give an amazing flavour. So this works like tomato paste, to be honest. So just like that. I'm gonna leave this up. I can reuse this label next time we are making tomato powder with salt. And just give it a good mix and leave it aside for us. And I'm going to use one of these sausages in a curry and one of these sausages in a soup. But I can just slice these up, and I'm going to just fry them on both sides a little bit in a frying pan. No fat or no oil, because that's got enough fat in them, so literally no seasoning, just fry it as it is, and that can go as a garnish as well on a soup. Or I'm going to use the Instant Pot today to make the curry, so that can go half of it to the curry as it is. So I'm just checking all the ingredients, but I think we've all good. Yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna make a lovely bread. On the top of the bread I'm gonna use some cottage cheese in here. I just took it out of the freezer, and some of our goat's cheese, and we're going to put it under the broiler, just make it nice and gooey and let it melt with a few slices of onion on the top. I think that dinner is gonna be delicious. So I'm having a big cooking day today, because the next couple of days I am going to be very busy. So in this way I've been taking care of our meals. I've also made beef and cabbage risotto in red wine sauce a couple of days ago. That's delicious as well. So we still got some of those leftovers for today's lunch. And that's it, friends. So this one needs some time. This one is still frozen solid, but that's not a problem. We still got plenty time. So I'm gonna put the soup ingredients on the side like that. And let's talk about the curry ingredients next. Okay, let's talk about the venison curry ingredients. So I've got diced venison in here from local farmer. I've just took it out of the freezer this morning, literally about 5-6 hours ago, so that's not quite thawed yet, so we need some time, but that's okay. Even though actually, look, that's not too bad actually, you know. I think that's, we're not far off. And we can then put it straight to, well look, I can pull them apart, perfect. So we're gonna use, that's not a lot to be honest, maybe about 300-400 grams. I've also got a cup of frozen butter beans, what I took out of the freezer from last year, needs using up, so I thought might as well put some beans in there. And the curry paste as well. Actually this would have been ideal to taken out when it was frozen, because now we're gonna lose a bit of this. It's gonna stay in a bag, but I'll try my best to take most out. But that's now all defrosted. This is my homemade curry paste. We've made this last year together. So we use those as well. And I'm gonna put about a cup of these sausages as well. And what else we can put in there? All the onions. We're gonna put about half a cup of freeze-dried onions, and I'm just going to pour about a cup full of water. Okay. I think that's it. I'm not going to put anything else. And I'm just going to put this on slow cook for 6 hours. Okay, the vegetables are now ready. So I'm going to try to put them in this pot. Perfect. That worked just right. Okay. And next we're going to put a bit more bits and bobs, and that can go back on stove. I've got the turkey stock and the shallots that can now all go in. It's actually very soft now. Okay, we can add maybe half of the oregano and the basil. We can add a teaspoon of a garlic powder. Maybe we can add a little bit of these sausages. We're gonna roast the rest, or fry it separate. A little bit of this garlic paste and the tomato powder with salt, but we put some, oh, it smells lovely, water to it, so it's a lovely paste. Perfect, with a good stir. And our tomato soup is ready to go back on the stove, and I'm going to bring this up to a boil or a simmer. We're going to simmer this for another hour. The bread is now ready to go to the oven. I had this in a fridge for about 6 hours, and I've got the cast iron bread pan in a roasting oven. When I took the vegetables out, I put that dish in, so that's nice and hot now. And I'm just going to score this bread, and that can go to the oven for about, it's a small bread, so we put it about 45 minutes. And make sure to put my alarm on so I know when to take it out. I'm just going to fry the sausages, and then I'm going to do the mushroom. I have decided to add the leftover basil and oregano on the top because they were a bit browny and colour, so wouldn't look that pretty on the top as a garnish. I've also got the soup here, just simmering nicely. We're going to blitz that soup when it's done. I'm just gonna fry the mushroom. It's nearly done. I give a few more minutes and I switch the soup to the boiling side of the agar, and I think this is now nearly done. So I'm just going to blitz this, and we're gonna have a taste test. If it needs any more seasoning, we're gonna put a little bit of honey in it, and the soup is bread is nearly done as well, so everything's done now. And I'm making a dessert, a rice pudding. So today's ingredients, what I'm gonna use 6 cups of milk. And I cannot thank my friend enough for this beautiful cast iron pot what she gave it me. So I'm gonna add 6 cups of 5.5 for now. 5.5, and I'm just going to measure out half a cup. I'm using pudding rice today, and I'm just going to rinse this into the top for a bit. I'm just going to add this to the milk. Okay, I'm just going to add a pinch of salt and about a 1/3 cup of this honey. About a 1/3 cup. And that can go on a stove on a medium-low heat. And then we're going to cook this for about 45 minutes. The soup is done. Rice pudding is on. Okay, and when that's done, we're literally just gonna add some cinnamon and vanilla extract, and our dessert is done. I've also took out some cheese and some veggie taco I've made a couple of months ago from the freezer. That's just gonna go nicely with one of our meals for the next couple of days. Oh, smells gorgeous. Let's have a taste test, friends. It's delicious. Smoky from the sausage, not too spicy. I've only put a little bit of a chili flake. Full of deep flavor of the tomatoes, and it's nice and thick. It's like a tomato sauce, really. So this is gonna be amazing with our cheese and onion toasty. Let's go have a look. I think the bread is ready now. Well, the bread literally just came out of the oven. So I'm going to leave this in this cooling rack for a sec in here. And looking amazing. It's lovely sourdough bread. Although I might put this back for another 10 minutes or so. Okay, the rice is now nicely cooked. So we're going to add a few more bits and bobs to this. Still look very runny, so I'm gonna add a pinch of cinnamon, vanilla extract. I'm gonna add a little bit of unsalted butter. Still very warm. Give it a good mix. I definitely don't need more milk, so 5.5 cups is plenty there. And I'm going to serve this with lovely quince puree. So good. I'm actually just going to make another batch today. The last month from our quince tree. But I'm probably going to show this in another vlog for you. I think the bread is now definitely ready. So I'm just going to put that on a cooling rack. I'm gonna leave this now as it is. This will thicken up. I'm just gonna put back the lid back on. and leave it to it. That is sweet. Don't need any more honey. Oh, looks amazing. Look at this bread, friends. That looks fantastic. A beautiful crusty sourdough bread. Oh, very hot. Just try to take it off this baking sheet. Let this cool down, and it's gonna make an amazing crusty sourdough bread with our tomato soup we've made today, friends. I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon to the rice pudding and some vanilla extract. Still very runny. I followed this recipe. I usually put a lot more rice in it. So what I've decided to do, I'm going to add a bit of this quince. And we're going to blitz it. And let's see what's happened. I'm sure this is gonna taste actually really nice. So let's have a taste test. Let's try this. It's like a milkshake. It's lovely. That is so good. But it's definitely not a rice pudding. Okay, it is 5:15. Is it? Yeah, 5:20. And I am starving. Alan is on his way home. We're ready to eat. We've still got an hour to go to the venison curry, but we're going to have that tomorrow. So now, today, we're going to have the tomato soup with cheese and onion toast. So what I'm going to do, I am going to cut into this sourdough bread we've just made today. Wow, looking amazing. Okay, just have 2 slices. And then we're going to put some onion and cheese on it. And I'm just going to put it in an oven just for 5 minutes until, oh, so good, the cheese melts. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a little bit of this cottage cheese. I think I'm gonna get a tray. Just gonna put this straight on a baking tray. That's it. Tidy this up. I cannot wait for dinner. So hungry. Right. Let's back to it. Bit of cottage cheese. This cottage cheese, my mum made this cottage cheese. That was in a freezer. I just took it out this morning. And we're gonna put some onion on the top. Just caramelized this onion earlier. Oh, it smells gorgeous. Perfect. We've got some sausage and mushroom there, but we're gonna put that on the top of the soup as a garnish. A bit of a parsley. Grate some goat's cheese on the top. And I'm just going to put this in an oven for 5-10 minutes in a roasting oven. Just until the cheese melts, really. then we can have a taste test. Right. I'm not sure, I think this is warm enough. I don't think so I need to warm it anymore. And it's for Alan. He is ready for his meal. I hope he's gonna enjoy this. I'm sure he will. Okay, just tidy up. Let's garnish the soup with this sausage and mushroom. And some parsley. And actually, I'm gonna find some basil as well. Oh, it smells gorgeous. I think this is a mixed basil from Lush's garden. Now we're talking. Moment of truth. Let's try this. So good. Let's have a bit of a bread. This is delicious. Alan's gonna love this. He's literally a couple of minutes away. And I cannot wait to finish this off. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me today. Turned out as a big cooking day. Actually, I've canned quince as well, so that's gonna be in the next vlog. But the tomato soup, it's absolutely amazing. The bread turned out fantastic, you know, and I'm sure the venison curry is gonna be amazing. We try that tomorrow for dinner. And what else we've done? Oh, the rice pudding. That, I'm not saying that was a disaster following that recipe. I thought at the beginning like 6 cups of milk and half a cup of rice. It's not gonna be good. But I wanted to give it a go. But I'm never gonna do that again. Although it made like a beautiful, like a smoothie kind of texture. And it's amazing taste-wise. But yeah, I'm just gonna stick to my recipe. We're gonna make that together very soon. I just fancied that rice pudding, but still got the flavour, but just haven't really got that texture, that thick, proper rice pudding texture, but never mind. Well, anyway, what else I was gonna say? Yeah, so tomorrow or the next couple of days, we're gonna go to the polytunnel, pick some tomatoes, tidy up, and pick the chilies and peppers in the greenhouse. I am tempting to make lecho, that pepper and tomato stew, because we've got plenty ripened tomatoes now on a windowsill, and it's loads and loads of peppers. It is the next day, and it is actually dinner time now. So I am going to try the venison curry. I've just made some rice today. That's all I've made today. Rice in an instant pot, 12 minutes, and dinner's ready. I've also picked from the garden this salad bowl. Honestly, it's end of October, and I've managed to pick, let me just try to think what's in this salad. So I've got tomatoes, got the crazy cherry, black cherry, and sun gold. I've got carrot, a little bit of grated carrot in here. I've got, I think it's 2 or 3 different varieties of kale, 2 or 3 different varieties of lettuces. I've still got the sorrel in there. What else I've picked? I think that's it. So let's try the salad first. I've only put a bit of salt and the sweet chili sauce on it. So good. Right, let's try the venison and curry and bean curry.
I've got these big butter beans in there. That was from the freezer, remember? That is delicious. That is amazing. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me, making all these lovely meals, and see you very soon. Bye, friends.